What's all this then? It's a 4-high expandable door. The last video I showed you this 3-high expandable vault door. You can theoretically expand it infinitely sideways with instant repeaters or just cleverly placed repeaters. Yeah, I'd previously done one where you could expand it upwards, so we'll go over here. That's that one, so you can make it infinitely high. And then this one, it's a bit harder to make it infinite, but you know, infinitely wide. At least up to limits like render distance and height limit, but you know, I thought I'd make one that's 4 high as well. So I'm actually surprised how small I got this. It's still only 3 blocks wide. It does stick up a little bit at the top and bottom, but not by as much as I thought I'd have to. And it's just to do with these observers above the redstone and these target blocks, and that means that I've got this double extender that's 2 blocks wide, and it's just made of this redstone here, the target blocks and the observers. Because there's redstone on the other side that also does observers and sticky pistons, so redstone goes off, activates these observers and sticky pistons. Because these are target blocks, that would actually interfere with it, so I have to set this redstone off quickly in a way that won't interfere with this redstone, because this one has to stay on for a delayed amount of time, which we do with repeaters over here. But this one has to go off for a split second, so we get an observer from the top going into a block, redstone, 1 tick repeater, or repeater on no delay, going into this redstone line. And luckily the combination of these things and the timings means that it all works together. So these pistons here in the double extender, because you have to push blocks from the floor to up here, so we have to power the piston when it's here, so that's done by observers, but we also have to power a piston here to pull the block down from there to there, and that's actually done by powering the block above. And because of a thing called bud, this piston gets diagonally powered. Sorry, when I say block above, I mean diagonally, like this one. So it's like this block gets powered, and that powers this piston. If you time it right, just weird mechanics. That might be confusing, but point is, weird mechanics mean that this door is tiny for what it does. I just kept the weird janky circuit that I used on the 3-high one for the top bit, which maybe there's a better way of doing this, but that's what I ended up doing, so you'll have to deal with it. So how do you build this? So firstly, we'll go over the space you need. You need the width of door plus 4 for the width, and that means this direction. So as you can see, the door is this wide, and then we've got 2 blocks sticking out on each side. And your input can be a button on each side, by the way, so you just have another one here. So on each side you just have a wooden button and you can get through easily, so that's a nice design. And for the actual resources, 2, add the width of the door target blocks. So if our door, we decided to make it 10 blocks wide, so 10 blocks all the way here, then it'll be 12 target blocks we need. Then for the redstone, we need 11 redstone plus 4 times the width of the door. So if our door was 10 blocks wide, we'd need 40 redstone plus 11, which would be 51. If our door was 5 blocks wide, we'd need 20 plus 11, which would be 31 redstone. For the repeaters, you just need 8. They aren't sort of added on as you go, so you just need a set amount, which is 8. For the observers, you need 3 times the width of the door minus 2. As in, do 3 times the width of the door and then take away 2 from that. So if our door was 10 blocks wide, it would be 3 times that, which is 30, minus 2, which is 28. If our door was 5 blocks wide, it would be 3 times 5, which is 15, minus 2, 13 observers. For sticky pistons, we need 6 times the width of the door, minus 4, so you need loads of these. So if our door was 10 blocks wide, you need 6 times 10, which is 60, minus 4, which would be 56. If our door was 5 blocks wide, 6 times 5, 30, minus 4, 26. For the redstone torch, we just need 1. So that's nice. We also need 1 note block, and that's just to sell off an observer at some point. Lastly, we need 3 slabs. Now you do obviously need a bunch of blocks to place stuff on, and then all the blocks to your door, but I'm not going to count those. Blocks are easy to get. Alright, I'm going to do a 5 block wide door, so that's this middle bit here is going to be the door. And then we've got the 2 blocks on each side, and your floor is going to be 5 blocks above your lowest point. So we're starting the redstone on top of this. So we're going to have blocks here and then 5 blocks above that. The 5th block up is your floor. Our door is going to be like this, the 5 blocks. Then we've got 4 high because it's a 4 high door. And then we've got 5 blocks going across. So for pistons, firstly, well, we'll just get one thing out of the way. The middle blocks, the blocks that go in the middle of the door, you can see that you don't need them on the sides because the wall pushes in to get this effect. So the middle blocks start 1 block across, and same on the other side. So there's none here. They start 1 block across. So in a 5 wide door, we'd only have 3 middle blocks at the top and bottom. So like that. And then you just have floor and ceiling on either side like this. So for the pistons, where these middle blocks are, they're 1 block back from the front. And we're going to do double extender underneath them. So you go 2 blocks down. So we need 2 blocks of space. And then you do pistons aiming up at them at the bottom. And then down at them at the top. Like that. And then for the very front, we now do 5 pistons. And we leave 1 block of space, so we just have 1 set of pistons aiming upwards like that. And then on the top, same thing. We leave 1 block of space at the front, and we do 5 pistons aiming down like that. And obviously if your door was wider, you'd do more, and you'd leave the gaps on each side for the middle ones. Moving to the side, you just do 2 pistons in the middle, so we'll leave 1 block of space at the side, and we're at the very front, and we just put 2 pistons to push the walls in, and we do that on both sides. So that's what it looks like. For our input block, you could also do this on the left side, but I do it on the right. You go to the pistons on the side, you go 1 block below, and there's a block with a repeater that aims into a block. And then for the other side's input, you actually do an observer aiming downwards with a redstone on top. So that's either side this block, and that's because there's a redstone torch on top of the block with a block above it to power the 2 side pistons. So there's a repeater here to make this side power this redstone dust, and then also this side you just power this redstone dust to set off the door. So we're going to do the bottom first. Under the observer we just placed, we do a block, then we go 2 blocks down, leave a gap, put a redstone dust in it. Now under all our middle double extenders, there's going to be target blocks like this, and then we're going to do blocks going to this block with the redstone on it. There's redstone dust next to target blocks, then there's a block next to that redstone dust, and then between the original redstone we put and that block, there's a repeater, and it's on 2 ticks. So that means just right click it once to get it like that. Then coming out to the side, we do a repeater on its default, going into a block, then a block with redstone next to that. Then coming out of that, we have a repeater aiming into the first one, and that's going to be on also 2 ticks, so that means that you right click it once. Then to the side of this redstone, we're going to do a block with a repeater, and then we're going to do another line of redstone going across, except we're going to extend 1 block further out, so it goes under all these front pistons, redstone along those. Now above all this redstone we place observers, including above this repeater as well, aiming into these pistons. Moving around the back, for the double extender, we just need to, next to all of these 2 sets of pistons, do 2 observers aiming upwards, and those go into blocks which are in the floor. So our floor is going to be like this, and that's the bottom bit done. Okay, so moving back to our input where we put the redstone torch, we're going to start powering the top bits. So the first thing we're going to do is put in the wall. So here's the torch, the wall for the door would be like this, and then the ceiling like this, and that just helps me tell where everything is, so that's what that'll be like. And we're going to do a redstone dust on top of the block on top of the torch. Then we're going to do 3 slabs like this, so diagonally next to each other, and they're at the top. They could also be glass because it has the same thing of letting redstone go up like this. And that's why we've done that, so redstone on all those. So first thing we're going to do is power this top line of pistons at the front, so we place blocks along all those, except for the one closest to the input, we do a note block instead. Then next to the piston, we do a block and another one, then redstone connecting up to this one, and then a repeater. Then we put redstone along the top of the note block and all the blocks, like that. To power the next set of things, what we do is, one block above the ceiling on the other side, we just do a line of blocks, like this. Except we miss out the one closest to the input. Then above the wall here, next to the slab, we do a block with redstone going up on top of it. Then we do a repeater on 2 ticks, so you right click it once. Next to that repeater, we have a repeater on 3 ticks, so we right click it twice. And then we do a target block to make the redstone aim at that repeater and power it. Above this redstone next to the target block, we do another target block. And then we do a repeater coming out the side of that on top of the first one. And that's going to be on 4 ticks, and that's just to delay the first repeater here from turning off, because we need that to make the double extender thing work properly. Okay, lastly, we're going to have to place redstone on these blocks, so you didn't actually have to have one here, that was a mistake. But along all the middle pistons, 1 block lower than the top bit, we just do blocks with redstone that the repeater's aiming into, like that. So this is what it's looking like. Okay, so these pistons haven't extended, and all you have to do is update them. So if I knock this block, there you go, they've extended out. Weird mechanics, but you know, that's Minecraft. So now we're going to go to the side pistons here that haven't been powered yet, and we just do a line of redstone. So coming from the very top bit, we do a block with a redstone repeater. Then we do a block to the side, and one going down from that. So like this, with redstone. Then we place redstone on top of the wall there. Then we do a block and another block to make the redstone go into those 2 pistons. Power them. Now, the floor kind of isn't like this. The floor doesn't extend out and then go back. It kind of just spams the blocks to the top and then spams them back down. So the point is you need to move these blocks into place. So we'll destroy these 3 middle blocks and put them under the top ones. They should be like that. And then you're also, the front floor blocks above the pistons, you want to destroy those. And then place them where they would be in the door, which is 1 block higher. And then your floor at the front would be here. And your wall around the front would be where these pistons are extended, like that. And ceiling would be where those pistons are extended. So that's what the outside of your door would look like. And the top pistons didn't work properly. Oh, yeah, so next to this note block at the top, there's an observer coming out, and then a block next to this target block to power this redstone. So that's why that didn't work. So if we flick a lever off and then on, there you go. So there's our door fully working. So if we hadn't moved these blocks at the bottom, they'd be like open when the top bit was closed and closed when the top bit was open. So that's why we have to move them. And there you go. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. I've been Idendied, and I'll see you in the next one.